Hello everyone. I, Alfia Tangsal, lecturer in physics, faculty of Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Here are we discussing about AC circuits. Now moving in the next video, we are going to talk about different types of AC circuits. Now there are many different types of AC circuit, but before understanding that, we are going to draw a phasor diagram with the current circuit and we are going to explain the theory for different types of AC circuits. The first one, when an AC voltage is applied to a resistor. Now when we are applying AC voltage to a resistance, we are going to consider an alternating EMF that has been applied between the terminals of a resistor of resistance R as shown in this particular figure. The instantaneous value of EMF is given by this first equation, that is E equals to E0 sine omega t. Now as we are using here a resistor, we say that E be the potential drop across the resistance, which is given by equation number 2. E is equals to I into R. But we are aware that instantaneous EMF is equivalent to instantaneous value. So from the above two equations, we get IR equals to E into E0 sine omega t. I is equals to E0 sine omega t upon R, equation number 3. This equation has been taken from the above one, where we take I on the left side and rest of the values on the right hand side divided by the denominator R. The peak current I0 is equals to E0 by R. Substituting E0 by R with I0, we get I equals to I0 sine omega t, that is equation number 4. I0 is equals to E0 pi R, which is with Ohm's law. We find that the resistors behave similarly for both AC and DC voltage. Hence, the behavior of R in DC and AC circuits is same. R can reduce DC as well as AC equally effective. From equations 1 and 4, we know that for a resistor, there is zero phase difference between instantaneous alternating current and instantaneous alternating EMF. That is, they are in phase. Both E and I reach zero, minimum and maximum values at the same time. The first diagram which we see is nothing but the phasor diagram, that is the graph, and the above one is the graph, that is we are having E or I on y-axis and on x-axis we have omega t. According to this diagram, we say that there is a zero phase difference between instantaneous alternating current and instantaneous alternating EMF. That is why they are in phase, and we see the sinusoidal waves that are passing through it are in phase with each other. Whereas the diagram below is the phasor diagram. Now in AC circuits containing only R, current and voltage are in same phase. Hence both phasors for I and E are in the same direction, that are making an angle omega t with OX. The projection on vertical axis gives their instantaneous values. On y-axis we are having E and I. On an x-axis we get a straight line with I0 and E0 having E0 sine omega t. So the phase angle between the alternating current and alternating voltage through R is nothing but 0. This is the phasor diagram for a purely resistive circuit. The second circuit we are using here is with an inductor. AC with an inductor that has been applied. As we know that the inductor is represented by a series of coil turnings. Now in this we are going to consider an alternating EMF again, which has been applied across an inductor of self-inductance, say L, as shown in the figure. Now let us consider that the alternating EMF supplied be presented by the first equation, E equals to E0 sine omega t. Since we are using an inductor over here, we will be using with the Faraday's law. Now according to Faraday's law, when the key is closed, the current I begins to grow in the inductor because magnetic flux linked with it changes and induced EMF is produced, which opposes the applied EMF. E is equals to minus L into di by dt. Equation number 2 is according to Lenz's law, where E is the induced EMF. Di by dt is the rate of change of current. To maintain the flow of current in the circuit, applied EMF must be equal and opposite to induced EMF, that is E dash. According to Kirchhoff's voltage law, as there is no resistance in the circuit, E equals to minus E dash. Substituting the values of E dash from the above equation, we get minus minus becomes positive L into di by dt. Di by di is anything but equals to E by L into dt. Integrating both the sides of the above equation, we get integration of di equals to integration of E by L into dt. We know that E is nothing but E0 sine omega t upon L into dt. Taking out the term constant E0 by L, integrating sine t, we get that it is equals to minus cos omega t upon omega plus c, where c here is nothing but a constant of integration. This constant of integration is time independent and has dimensions of current. As the EMF oscillates about zero, current cannot be any component of current which is time independent. The integration constant we obtain here is I equals to minus E by omega L into sine pi by 2 minus omega t, because cos omega t is nothing but sine pi by 2 plus omega t. I equals to E0 upon omega L into sine omega t minus pi by 2. We obtain the final equation I equals to I0 sine omega t minus pi by 2 according to equation number 3. The above equation gives the alternating current developed in a purely inductive circuit when connected to a source of alternating EMFs. Comparing equations 1 and 2, we find that the alternating current I lags behind the alternating voltage EMF E by a phase angle of phi by 2, that is radians 90 degrees, or the voltage across L leads to the current by a phase angle of pi by 2 radians 90 degrees, as seen in this particular graph where we are having E or I on y-axis and omega t on x-axis. As we can see from this diagram, we understand that there is a phase difference of pi by 2, that is by 90 degrees, and one is leading whereas one is lagging behind by 90 degrees. Next, talking about AC voltage that has been applied to a capacitor. Again, in this equation, we are going to consider an alternating EMF that has been applied across a capacitor of capacity C as shown in this particular figure. From that, we obtain equation number 1, that is E is equals to E0 sine omega t. The current flowing in the circuit transfers charge to the plates of the capacitor, which produces a potential difference between the plates. As the current reverses, its direction is each half cycle. The capacitor is alternately charged and discharged. Now we consider Q be the magnitude of the charge on any one side of the plate of the capacitor at a particular instant. The potential difference across its plate is given by V equals to Q by C. This potential difference is equal to the instantaneous value of the applied EMF given by E equals to Q by C. Q is equals to C into E. E is given by E0 sine omega t from equation number 1. Differentiating both the sides of the equation 2 with respect to t, we get dq by dt equals to d by dt E0 into sine omega t, that is equals to omega. The constant comes out by differentiation. C into E0 cos omega t. I is equals to omega C into E0 cos omega t, equivalent to E0 upon 1 by omega c into cos omega t. Now I is equals to E0 by 1 upon omega c into sine omega t plus pi by 2. This equation 3 is the representation of instantaneous current in the circuit. The current will be maximum when sine omega t plus pi by 2 equivalents to 1, so that I is equals to I0, where the peak value of the current is I0 is equals to E0 upon 1 by omega c. That is equation number 4. Comparing these equations, we find that in an AC circuit containing a capacitor, only the alternating current I leads and the alternating EMF E by the phase angle of pi by 2 radians, as shown in the diagram above. Now talking about the phasor diagram. The phasors representing peak EMF makes an angle omega t in anticlockwise direction with respect to the horizontal axis. As the current leads the voltage by 90 degrees in purely capacitive circuit, the phasor representing I0 current is turned 90 degrees anticlockwise with respect to the phasor representing EMF E0. The projection of these phasors on the vertical axis give instantaneous values of E. C is the capacitor of the capacitance. R is the resistor of the resistance. Consider an alternating EMF applied to a series combination of pure inductor of inductance L, capacitor of capacitance C, and resistor of resistance R, as shown in the particular figure. Now we are naming this as EL, EC and ER be the RMS voltage across inductor, capacitor and resistor. As R, L and C are in series, the current at any instant through these three elements has same amplitude and phase and is given by I equals to I0 sine omega t. ER is in phase with current I. The vector ER is drawn in the same direction as that of I along the positive direction of x-axis. Whereas talking about EC, it lags behind the current I by pi by 2 radians. Hence the vector EC is drawn in the negative direction of y-axis EC along OY dash. Whereas EL leads the current by pi by 2 radians and hence vector EL is drawn in the positive direction of y-axis. The voltage through L, C and R are given by EL equals to I into XL, EC equals to I into XC and ER equals to I into R. That is given by your equation number 1. Now considering the figure, from that we obtain OP is equals to under root of OK square plus OM square. That is, E square is equals to ER square plus EL minus EC the whole square. From the above equation, we obtain ER is nothing but IR square, EL is nothing but IXL, and EEC is nothing but IXC. Substituting the values, taking I square common, we get I square into the brackets R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. Removing the square from the right hand side of E, we put it under root for R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. Z is known as the impedance of the circuit, that is R square plus XL minus XC the whole square under root. This is represented by E equals to I into Z. The quantity impedance of the circuit represents the effective opposition offered by the inductor, capacitor and resistor connected in series to the flow of the AC current. This total effective resistance of LCR circuit is called as the impedance of the circuit and is represented by Z. The ratio of RMS voltage to the RMS value of the current is called as impedance. Its SI unit is nothing but ohms. Now, comparison of resistor and reactance. Resistance is equally effective for AC and DC, whereas reactance, it is the current affected but energy is not consumed. The energy consumption by a coil is due to the resistive component. Its value is independent of frequency of AC, whereas for reactance, inductive reactance is directly proportional and capacitive is inversely proportional. In resistance, current has been opposed by a resistor and is in phase with the voltage, whereas for reactance, current opposed by a pure inductor lags in phase, while that opposed by a pure capacitor leads is voltage by pi 0 square over the voltage.